here we are. We are going to be reading Beowulf from Dover Thrift Editions, 2015, translated by Robert K. Gordon. I'll be starting with Chapter 8 today. Maybe that's better. All right. Hrothgar spoke, the protector of the Scyldings. Thou hast sought us, my friend Beowulf, for battle and from graciousness. Thy father achieved the greatest of feuds. He became the slayer of Hethelaf among the Wolfings. Then the race of the Weders would not receive him because of threatening war. Thence he sought the people of the South Danes, the honorable Scyldings, over the surging of the waves. Then I had just begun to rule the Danish people, and in youth held a wide-stretched kingdom, a stronghold of heroes. Then Haregar was dead. My elder kinsman, the son of Helfdene, had ceased to live. He was better than I. Afterwards I ended the feud with money. I sent old treasures to the Wolfings over the back of the water. He swore oaths to me. It is sorrow for me in my mind to tell any man what malice and sudden onslaughts Grendel has wrought on Heorot with his hostile thoughts. Thinned is my troop in hall, my war band. Fate has swept them away to the dread Grendel. May God easily part the bold enemy from his deeds. Full often did warriors drunken with beer boast over the ale cup that they would await Grendel's attack with dread blades in the beer hall. Then in the morning, when day dawned, this mead hall, the troop hall, was stained with blood, all the ale benches drenched with gore, the hall and the blood shed in battle. I had so many the less trusty men, dear veterans, since death had carried off these. Sit down now at the banquet and speak thy mind. Tell the men of victorious fame as thy mind prompts. Then a bench was cleared in the beer hall for the men and the Geats together. There the bold-minded ones went and sat down, exceeding proud. A thane who bore in his hands the decked ale cup performed the office, poured out the gleaming beer. At times the minstrel sang clearly in Heorot. There was joy of heroes, a great band of warriors, Danes and Weders. Here's Chapter 9. Unferth spoke, son of Ecglaf, who sat at the feet of the prince of the Scyldings. He began dispute the journey of Beowulf, the brave seafarer, was a great bitterness to him, because he did not grant that any other man in the world accomplished greater exploits under heaven than he himself. Art thou that Beowulf who strove with Breca, contended on the wide sea for the prize in swimming, where ye two tried the floods in your pride, and risked your lives in the deep water from presumption? Nor could any man, friend or foe, prevent the sorrowful journey. Then ye two swam on the sea, where ye plied the ocean streams with your arms, measured the sea paths, threw aside the sea with your hands, glided over the surge. The deep raged with its waves, with its windy flood. 7 nights ye toiled in the power of the water. He outstripped thee in swimming, had greater strength. Then in the morning the sea bore him to the land of the Hethorims. Thence, dear to his people, he sought his loved country, the land of the Brondings, the fair stronghold where he ruled over people, castle and rings. The son of Beanstan in truth fulfilled all his pledge to thee. Wherefore I expect a worse fate for thee, though everywhere thou hast withstood battle rushes, grim war, if thou durst await Grendel throughout the night near at hand. Beowulf spoke, son of Ecgtheow. Lo, thou hast spoken a great deal, friend Unferth, about Breca. Drunken as thou art with beer, thou hast told of his journey. I count it as truth that I had greater might in the sea, hardships mid the waves, than any other man. We arranged that and made bold while we were youths. We were both then still in our boyhood, that we too should risk our lives out on the sea, and thus we accomplished that. We held naked swords boldly in our hands when we swam in the ocean. We thought to protect ourselves against the whales. In no wise could he swim far from me on the waves of the flood, more quickly on the sea. I would not consent to leave him. Then we were together on the sea for the space of 5 nights, till the flood forced us apart. The surging sea, coldest of storms, darkening night, and a wind from the north, battle grim came against us. Wild were the waves, the temper of the sea monsters was stirred. There did my shirt of mail, hard locked by the hand, stand me in good stead against foes. The woven battle garment, adorned with gold, lay on my breast. A spotted, deadly foe drew me to the depths. He had me firmly and fiercely in his grip, yet it was granted to me that I pierced the monster with my point, my battle spear. The rush of battle carried off the mighty sea monster by my hand. That's chapter 9. Here's chapter 10. Thus oftentimes malicious foes pressed me hard. I served them with my good sword, as was fitting. They had not joy of their feasting, the evildoers, from devouring me, from sitting round the banquet near the bottom of the sea. But in the morning they lay cast up on the shore, wounded with swords, laid low by blades, so that no longer they hindered seafarers on their voyage over the high flood. Light came from the east, bright beacon of God. The surges sank down, so that I could behold the seascapes, the windy headlands. Fate often succors the undoomed warrior when his valor is strong. Yet it was my fortune to slay with the sword 9 sea monsters. I have not heard under the arching sky of heaven of harder fighting by night, nor of a more hapless man in the streams of ocean. Yet I escaped with my life from the grasp of foes, weary of travel. Then the sea, the flood, the raging surges bore me to the shore in the land of the Finns. I have not heard such exploits told of thee, dread deeds, terror of swords. Never yet did Breca or either of you two in the play of battle perform so bold a deed with gleaming blades. I do not boast of the struggle, though thou camest to be the murderer of thy brother, thy near kinsman. For that thou must needs suffer damnation in hell, though thy wit is strong. Forsooth, I tell thee, son of Ecglaf, that Grendel, the fearful monster, had never achieved so many dread deeds against thy prince, malice on Heorot, if thy thoughts and mind had been as daring as thou thyself sayest. But he has found out that he need not sorely dread the feud, the terrible sword battle of your people, the victorious Scyldings. He takes pledges by force. He spares none of the Danish people, but he lives in pleasure, sleeps and feasts. He looks for no fight from the Speardanes. But soon now I shall show him battle, the might and courage of the Geats. He who may will go afterwards, brave to the mead, when the morning light of another day, the sun clothed with sky-like brightness, shines from the south over the children of men. Then glad was the giver of treasure, gray-haired and famed in battle, the prince of the bright Danes, trusted in aid. The protector of the people heard in Beowulf a resolute purpose. There was laughter of heroes, talk was heard, words were winsome. Wealhtheow went forth, Hrothgar's queen. Mindful of what was fitting, gold adorned, she greeted the warriors in hall, and the free-born woman first offered the goblet to the guardian of the East Danes, bade him be of good cheer at the beer banquet, be dear to his people. He gladly took part in the banquet and received a hall goblet, the king mighty in victory. Then the women of the Helmings went about everywhere among old and young warriors, proffered the precious cup, till the time came that she, the ring-decked queen, excellent in mien, bore the mead flagon to Beowulf. She greeted the prince of the Geats, thanked God with words of sober wisdom, that her wish had been fulfilled, that she might trust to some earl as a comfort in trouble. He, the warrior fierce in fight, took that goblet from Wealhtheow, and then, ready for battle, uttered speech. Beowulf spoke, son of Ecgtheow. That was my purpose when I launched on the ocean, embarked on the sea-boat with the band of my warriors, that I should work the will of your people to the full, or fall a corpse fast in the foe's grip. I shall accomplish deeds of heroic might, or endure my last day in the mead hall. Those words, the boasting speech of the Geat, pleased the woman well. Decked with gold, the freeborn queen of the people went to sit by her prince. Then again, as before, there was excellent converse in hall, the warriors in happiness, the sound of victorious people, till all at once Healfdene's son was minded to seek his evening's rest. He knew that war was destined to the high hall by the monster after they could no longer see the light of the sun, and when night growing dark over all, the shadowy creatures came stalking, black beneath the clouds. The troop all rose. Then one warrior greeted the other, Hrothgar Beowulf, and wished him success, power over the wine hall, and spoke these words: Never before did I trust to any man, since I was able to lift hand and shield the excellent hall of the Danes, except to thee now. Have now and hold the best of houses. Be mindful of fame, show a mighty courage, watch against foes. Nor shalt thou lack what thou desirest, if with thy life thou comest out from that heroic task. That ends chapter 10, and we will quit there.